Hey guys, it's Laree and welcome back to another video. This is my 1K Q&A video that I've been promising for a while. So in this video, I'm going to be answering your questions that you've sent to me on social media, as well as pulling your questions from my comments in my videos, and I'm going to be answering a few of those here as well. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Again, my name is Laree, and I am the owner of Sew Into It Lessons, where I teach kids and adults how to sew. And now I am teaching completely online. So if you've been looking for a great place to learn how to sew, check this out. Hey guys, join me live for a free tour of Sew Into It online. Take a look at your online sewing room and get an overview of the lessons you can take to achieve your sewing goals with Sew Into It. See the information in this video to reserve your spot. Hope to sew with you soon. In the description box below, there is a link where you can save your spot for that free tour, so check it out. So way back in May, before I even hit 1,000 subscribers, I was so excited about it. I was getting myself ready for it, getting pumped up for it, and I said if I did hit 1K that I would do a Q&A video. Well, I put that out there and I got some questions in. I got some good questions, and I'm actually going to answer those today. And then as we drew closer to the end of this month, I thought this would be a great opportunity to also pull some of the questions from my videos, because I get quite a few questions, and I do answer, guys, when you leave me questions, and I do try to answer them, all of them if I can. Some can't be answered in a few sentences in a text, and I've thought about doing videos around them and different things, but I was like, this is the perfect solution right here, a Q&A video where I take your questions and I demonstrate them and I answer them. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. So I'm going to answer the 1K Q&A questions first, and then in the second half, I will go to the sewing machine or demonstrate, get the different things that I need to get to answer your questions about your sewing machine problems and different things. And yeah, I'm really excited about doing this and excited about continuing this in the future, pulling questions and answering them right here. Okay, let's see. So I have all of my questions here, and we will go ahead and get started. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. I really am. I'm so excited to be doing this. I haven't even started yet, and I'm like, this is so much fun. Okay, so the first question I have comes from Cherie, and she goes, hey Laree, our names are similar. Laree, Cherie, try saying that 10 times fast. Congrats on almost reaching 1K. Girl, thank you. We made it. Thank you for your subscription. My questions for you are, how did you get into sewing? And what goals would you like to accomplish with sewing? And where are you from? Okay, those are pretty easy intro questions. I will say question number 2 is kind of a loaded question, but we're gonna get into them. So how did you get into sewing? My story is like a lot of others. I started sewing, it was really natural. My grandmother was a seamstress and she did it professionally. And I remember that she had this just amazing sewing room with like magazine clippings all over the wall and like this really high table for cutting and pictures from different fashion shows and things that she had done, thread racks and just everything everywhere. And I was just that little kid, like peeking my little nose over her table looking at her sewing machine, and that was me at age like 4, 5, 6. And yeah, I was so fascinated. She wouldn't let me touch her sewing machine at all. And finally, when I was 7, she said, if you are serious, then I want to see you make clothes for your dolls by hand. So I started sewing clothes for my Barbies. This is not a Barbie. Yes, I did make it by hand, but you get the idea. I started making clothes for my Barbies to show my grandma that I was serious and that I really wanted to do it. And the rest is history, I guess. Yeah, That's how I got started. Let me jump down to where are you from? So I am a California girl, though I'm not a Southern California girl. I grew up in Northern California in Sacramento, and I currently live in LA County in Southern California. So yeah, I'm from California and from the state capital. And lastly, what goals would you like to accomplish with sewing? Immediately, what comes to mind, the scripture that says, write the vision and make it plain. And I have written down my goals and different things, so many things, but here it is in a nutshell. So my goal with Sew Into It, when I created Sew Into It, when that thought came to me to begin teaching sewing lessons, like in a structured kind of a way, I wanted to pass on the lessons that were taught to me, the things that I was so blessed to have received from my grandmother, and the way that I received it from her, sitting around the kitchen table, sitting around the sewing room, and her just transferring that knowledge through that shoulder to shoulder, kneecap to kneecap kind of interaction. So to pass on the knowledge and the skills that were given to me, to pass that on to others, passing on skills and knowledge. And right now, almost 2 years into it, August will make 2 years in, I hope to have my goal is to have an actual physical location. I know that's kind of hard to imagine right now, being, that it's end of July 2020. But to have an actual physical location, to have an actual sewing center where people come in and they learn to sew and they have community and all of these things. I have Sew Into It, the shop. You can find the link for that down below, where I'm selling sewing supplies. And that goal is to be not only a consumer in this sewing industry, but to become a supplier as well. So those are my goals. Those are my goals. I don't know if that's the long version, the short version, to continue passing on the skills and knowledge that I have to many others, to let them see the possibilities and the options for their lives as well. I think about those kids and children who need options, who need to know that a corporate path isn't the only path. And since that's not attainable, I'm not even going to try. For those children to know that maybe even a minimum wage job isn't their only option. If they had skills and a selection and option and skills, and if they really knew what they could do with it, they could be a supplier, they could be a manufacturer, they could be all of those things. That's the bigger goal, to open up that world to them as children, and to let them know that they can create something of their own. If they don't see that they fit anywhere within the structures and the systems that be, then they can create their own. And personally, I want to continue to grow, and I want to be successful in order to be that example and let them know, hey, look, this is possible. Oh my goodness. Like I said, that was a loaded question. Can we breathe for a second? I need to breathe after that one. Okay, next question. Thank you, Sheree, for that. Hopefully you all enjoyed that and you got something from it. This question comes from Daniel Gums, who they're actually friends of mine. You can find Daniel Gums here on YouTube as The Goofy Gums. And if you are involved in kid ministry in your church or know someone that is, Marilyn and Daniel Gums are amazing, excellent resources. What is the first thing you've ever sewn? That is a good question, because I don't know that I completely remember. So I think I'm gonna have to tell you what the first thing is that I remember sewing, something like that. Okay, so I did hand sewing on my Barbies, with my cousins, with my friends. Like almost every kid made clothes for their Barbies. But let's see. The first thing I ever sewn, I kind of think that it was, it may have been this. I'm looking at the fabric. I recognize this fabric. I remember this particular fabric I made a jacket out of it too, a Vogue pattern jacket. I was doing things. I was like a pro already by the time I hit middle school, high school. And I remember this was like my major project because I was learning how to set in sleeves and they were just like the worst for me. But then I also made this messenger bag, and the shirt that I'm wearing in the picture, I made that completely by myself without my grandma's help. That was all me. I found all that material in my mom's sewing room and I made that shirt myself. And it says 2001, and that means I would have been in the 10th grade. And I definitely was sewing before that, but these are the picture proofs that I have right now. So we're gonna go with this. This probably was the first thing. But then there was also this situation right here with this ball gown kind of outfit. I love doing evening wear. I love. I do get that question quite a bit. What do you like sewing most? Since I was young, as you can see, I loved sewing evening wear. And jean skirts. I love making jean skirts too. But that is my final answer. I'm gonna say that this ensemble, top and messenger bag, was the first thing I'm gonna say that I did completely by myself without any assistance or having to call my grandmother for help or being rushed down to her home 45 minutes away from my home in the middle of the night to get help with my sewing. Okay, next question comes from Kozowski Chiropractic. This is from Dr. K. She also is on YouTube and you can find her on Instagram. Her question to me is, do you have a button jar and how did you get into sewing? So I did not have a button jar before this question, but I do now. So thanks for that idea, Dr. K. And how did you get into sewing? Okay, so I talked about how I started sewing in my background. My grandmother did it professionally. And then as far as going like actually into fashion, around the 8th grade, I began to get it in my mind and have dreams of like designing and going to New York and being a fashion designer and doing all of those things. And I just kind of kept that dream and went on to college and got my degree in fashion design, and I've just been sewing all my life. Those are my questions from Instagram and Facebook. I definitely do get lots of questions often about, I wouldn't say lots, I get quite a few questions about beginner sewing machines, and of course that question, what do you like to sew? What's your favorite thing to sew? I do get a lot of those, but these are the ones that I'm answering today. Thank you guys so much for sending in your questions. This was fun and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about me as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am going to make this part 1. Part 2 of this video is going to be a separate video, and I'm gonna go into questions about my videos, questions from my videos, answering those, questions about bobbin issues, needle issues, thread issues. We're gonna get into those, and yeah, I hope it's very helpful to you. To get in on that free tour of my online lessons, go ahead and check the description box below, and also to check out my sewing supplies in my Etsy shop. That link is also down below. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification so that you don't miss the next Q&A video that's coming out right after this. Thank you so much, and I hope to sew with you soon. Bye.